Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Today we will talk about a discourse given by Lord Buddha called Bhaddekaratta Sutta. You may have heard about this earlier, but it is worth listening to again and again. One excellent day or one excellent night or one excellent time, basically. How to have a wonderful time. So Lord Buddha gave this discourse as Jetavana on the monastery of Upasaka Anatha Pindika. There he said, "Let not a person revive the past or on the future build his hopes. For the past has been left behind and the future has not been reached." So, the essence is here not to go to the past or speculate about the future or building too many hopes or expectations. Because the past is gone. Past is something that we cannot change. And the future, we don't know. Because everything is uncertain. Instead, with insight, let him see each presently arisen states. Whatever things that are here presented to us right now, pleasant or unpleasant, let them focus on this, be aware of this. Whatever feelings that comes right now, whatever experiences that comes right now, let him know that and be sure of it. The present state. We'll explain all this. Lord Buddha has given the explanation also. Let him know and be sure of it, what is happening at the present moment. Invincibly, unshakably. Today, the effort must be made. So, tomorrow death may come, who knows? Because Lord Buddha is saying, if you have to do the effort, do it today. You don't know when death will come. Who knows? No bargain with death can keep him and his hordes away. We cannot bargain with death. We cannot say, come tomorrow, come day after. But one who dwells thus ardently, relentlessly, by day and by night, one who dwells like this at the present moment, not bothered about the past, not worrying or expecting or building hopes about the future, day and night, he, the peaceful sage, means the Buddha says, that person, the Buddha says, he is the one having a wonderful time. This is the verse Lord Buddha uttered at the beginning of the discourse. Then he explains, how does one revive the past? How do one live in the past or think about the past? It's not just merely the memories. we have two ways to go to the past. One is just the memory. It happened. Yeah? But when we go to our memories of the past generally, then we don't just stop there. We have cravings and aversions. So whatever happened, good or bad, whatever feelings, for example, that we experienced in the past that were good. So we think, oh, that was a good feeling, that was a good experience, and whatever was not, that was not good. So we ultimately go back to the likings and dislikings about the past. We generate the craving and aversion about the past. So that is where people that is how people try to revive the past. And Lord Buddha has given further explanation. With this Panchakhanda, 5 aggregates, the body, the feelings, the perceptions, the mental factors, and the consciousness, the thought process. So this is, people consider whatever pleasant they experienced. My body was like this, my feeling was like this, my consciousness was like this, People think about it. Whatever was good, they tend to generate liking. Whatever was not good, they tend to generate disliking. And this is how one tries to live in the past. And as Lord Buddha said, past is gone. Like you have seen, when someone dies, what people do, if you have visited or if you have seen, you must have seen somebody's house, someone has died. They cry and lament. And then they stop for some time. And then one more person comes. And then they do the same. As if by crying or lamenting, they are going to revive the dead body. And after this crying and lamenting for some time, then they take the dead body. They burn it or they bury it. So it is to contemplate that. If we contemplate this, what do they do after doing all this? They just burn it or bury it. Basically discarding. But then before that they do all this. So this is all comes from our ignorance. The people, whatever is past, we cannot change it. And how does one not revive the past? Lord Buddha is saying, how does one not go to the past, not live in the past? One does not nurture delight thinking, my body was like this, my feelings were like this. One does not think about past experiences with craving or aversion, craving or aversion. This is how one does not revive the past. Whatever is past, whatever, if the body was healthy, healthy, not healthy, not healthy. That's all. But it was healthy, now it is not healthy. Or it was not healthy, now it is healthy. In this ways the cravings, liking and disliking arises. So not to revive the past. And then how does one build hope about the future? One contemplates like this. May May I have this, may I have that, may my body be like this, may my feelings be like this, may my perceptions be like this. Basically connected to these five aggregates. Body, feeling, consciousness, perceptions like this. So experiencing something, may it be like this, may it not be like this. May it be like this and may it not be like this, both ways. Basically there is a why do people do that? If you contemplate, may the body be like this, may the body not be like this. May the feeling be like this, may the feeling not be like this. Why do people do that? What is the main fundamental reason? Because of I, view of I, self. This body is me, these feelings are me, perception is me. So when it is connected with me, people want, I should be happy. How do I be happy? My feelings should be like this, my body should be like this. So always connected with the I, ultimately. So about the past also. When people think about the past, contemplate about the past, there is also a sense of I, sense of self. I was not feeling well, I was feeling well, I had a good situation, I had a bad situation. So all connected with the I. So this is how people create hopes. I should have this, I should not have this. I should get this, I should not get this. This should happen, this should not happen. That's how one builds hopes or expectations about the future. And when one does not take delight in this, thinking, contemplating, expecting, so many, it should be like this, it should not be like this. Because the future comes from present. Future does not come out of nowhere, it comes from the present. If the present is right, future can be good. If the present is full of delusions and ignorance and confusions, future mostly will not be good. Simple. So future is dependent on the present, and the present is not good, future cannot be. So that's why if you really want to do good about future, forget about the future, because every moment, present moment, that is going to build up the future. Present moment and the next moment and the next moment. This is what is going to build up the future. So one does not take delight thinking, I should be like this, I should not be like this, I should get this, I should not get this, this should happen, this should not happen. This is how one does not build up hope. One does not have any delight. One does not always thinking and contemplating and pondering like this. And how is one vanquished in regard to presently arisen states? How is one defeated at this moment? How is one defeated in the present moment? Here Lord Buddha earlier says, no? Invincibly, unshakably. Unbeaten. How one looks at it unbeaten, how one looks at it beaten. How does one get beaten? When a person does not know the truth of life, the Dhamma, and does not make any effort to know it. So whatever he thinks, whatever he contemplates, whatever he visualizes, whatever he does, it's all connected with, as I just said, with the sense of I. I will do like this, I will not do like this. I was good, I was not good. I will be happy, I will not be happy. It is all connected with the sense of I. But then it's not just connected with the sense of I. When we say I am this or I am not this. I am good or I am not good. I am happy or I am unhappy. When we say like this, there is a deeper meaning here. What is the I? What people conceive as I, what people perceive as I. These five aggregates, this body, this feeling, these perceptions, these various thoughts, various mental objects, the consciousness, this is what people grasp as I. Body is the I, or there is an I in the body. Feelings are the I, or there is some I in the feelings, like this. Or feeling and I is same. Body and I is same. So all this is connected with the I. When it is connected with the I, automatically when you say, I want this or I don't want this, automatically there will be craving and aversion. You cannot stop it. It is not possible to stop the craving and aversion when we think with the I. That is bound to be, big or small, but then there will be the I and the craving. And then when one thinks like this, automatically one falls for likings and dislikings, cravings and aversion. And if one falls for craving and aversion, then one has no way of gaining mindfulness, gaining wisdom, gaining liberation. So this is how one is beaten by Mara. Because this view of self about the body, about the feeling, about the perception, any of these five aggregates, view of self. When we do like this, automatically our mind, the craving comes. We can't stop it. Then our wisdom, our mindfulness, our wisdom and everything, all the wholesome qualities that we require to develop the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, that will go away. And how does one live unbeaten? Earlier we were talking, how does one get beaten? How is one unbeaten? When a person, a noble disciple who is skilled with a disciplined mind, there are some criteria Lord Buddha has given for the people who perceive as I, for example. It's very interesting to know. He says, what he says, just listen. A person who is untaught, ordinary person, who does not know the Dhamma, who has no regard for the noble ones, who has no regard for the enlightened people, unskilled and undisciplined. Unskilled and undisciplined. So, how do you know person is good, bad, wise, unwise? So when one has right view, one regards the right things as right things, wrong things as wrong things. When one says unwholesome actions are not so bad, they may be done at times, or it is okay to do at times, which means that person is, in the words of Lord Buddha, is an ordinary, untrained person who has no chance of progressing. So this is the first thing regarding the wholesome as wholesome, unwholesome as unwholesome. For example, the 5 precepts that you have taken here. The 5 precepts that you have taken talk about, what does it say? Not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to tell lies, not to indulge in intoxicants. These unwholesome tendencies are harmful to ourselves, harmful to others. And if we are not restraining, not letting them go, not stopping them, then we have no chance of growing on the path of wholesomeness, goodness or virtue or noble path. This is fundamental. So we should do the basics right in our practice of Dhamma. We should do the basics correctly. Starts with 5 precepts, for example, lay people, and then maybe higher precepts at times, Uposatha days. But then who has no regard for these things? One who says, okay, it's okay not to follow the precept. It's okay to do unwholesome things. It's okay to not to practice meditation. It's okay to be greedy or selfish. It's okay to be hateful. Then that person has no chance of progressing on the path of Dhamma. So even if we make mistakes, or sometimes our mind may go away from the wisdom, it is important to go back to our wisdom, to our mindfulness, to our sila again and again till it is done properly, till it is properly established. It is important. It happens to people that when they start doing, they may forget, or they may make mistakes at times. But then we should always have a mind of rectifying. Open to correction. This is a very important thing. In the Mahamangala Sutta, Lord Buddha has said, open to correction, so vachas sata. That itself is a great blessing. When we are open to correction, correcting ourselves from time to time, it is okay not to be perfect at the beginning. That's fine. But it's absolutely not okay disregarding that I am not perfect, I should make the effort. Being heedless, being careless, that's not okay. That's absolutely not okay. And most people fail there. When they make mistakes, they don't think, oh, it is a mistake, it's wrong, it is unwholesome, it is rooted in some unwholesome things, unwholesome thoughts, unwholesome mental factors. It should be rectified. It should be given up. It should be abandoned. It should not be cultivated. This is very important to remind ourselves. And if we do not, then nobody else can do it for us. So when a person, Lord Buddha says, well-taught disciple, noble disciple, who has regard for the enlightened people, is skilled and disciplined in their mind and skilled and disciplined in Dhamma. One who has regard for true men means one who appreciates the people who follow the Dhamma. The right kind of appreciation. When we appreciate people who are trying to sincerely strive, practice the Dhamma, this is for our own benefit. We appreciate anything good. Whatever good we see, wherever we see, we appreciate. This is good. This is right. So our mind will be straight. This is one way of straightening our mind. There are these practical tools. Our mind, if I were to ask, if our mind is straight, is our mind straight? The answer would be simply no. Our minds are not straight. then we would have become arahants. Our minds were so straight. Our minds are crooked. We all possess some amount of crookedness in our hearts. That may vary. Some people have very little, some people have a lot. But not free from crookedness. It is not perfectly straight. Whether monks or lay people, it is. Because we are not enlightened people. But in case of arahants, it is straight. Dhamma is Dhamma. Whatever is not Dhamma is not Dhamma. There is no doubt, no confusion, and no deviation. No deviation, absolutely. So why do we practice Dhamma? To make it straight. The path given by the Buddha is to make it straight. And the straightening happens inside our own hearts. That's what the Lord Buddha is saying. But before that straightening, we must appreciate other people who are trying to make it straight. That's what he is saying. Who has regard for true men, who has respect for the true people who are making the effort to make it straight, or who has already done it. Such people are not obsessed. Not obsessed with what? Idea of self. This body is me, these feelings are me, perceptions are me, or this is me, or there is a perception, there is a me or self in the perception, whatever. So such people can make their mind better and purified. So the right appreciation also is a very nice and useful way to practice the Dhamma, to make our hearts straight. So if such a person lives wisely, not obsessed with the view of I am like this, I am like that, I am good, I am bad, I am superior, I am inferior, basically connected with the body, feelings, etc. One does not live like this. Then Lord Buddha says, he is living undefeated. Such a person is living undefeated when one lives wisely like this, not obsessed with the view of I or self. And then he says, today the effort must be made, tomorrow death may come, who knows? No bargain with death can keep him and his army away. So, death, contemplation of death also, Marananusati, is very, very important part of our spiritual practice. We all are going to die, simple. That is not unusual. It is not unusual that people dies. Absolutely not unusual. If they are born, they will die. Simple. Everybody. All of us sitting here. And our people outside. All the people. Without fail. And if people were to think that the death comes from other external causes and conditions, whether it is a sickness, whether it is an accident, whether it is this or that, no. It is not like this. The moment we were born, the actions that were responsible for our birth also can sustain us for a certain period of time, not beyond that. Like you buy a mobile phone. You charge it every day. The battery can survive up to certain cycles, 1000, 2000, whatever it is. And beyond that, the battery will not survive. Any chargeable battery is like this. So at the beginning, when the battery was manufactured, the engineers knew very well, okay, it will survive up to 1000 cycles, that's all. That's how it was manufactured. That's how this being came into existence that we call I. When we were born, the very karma, that action that were responsible to be born here, that itself gave us support, and then other supporting actions. But they also can provide us support to some extent. Some people die at the age of 5 or 10 or 20. Some people live up to 80, 90 or 100. But then beyond a certain point, everybody's case, the actions are different, the results are different. But beyond a certain point, it has to break up. It has to break up. Because there is decay. Decay is happening with all people. Decay is the nature of all beings. And the decay is not with regard to just the old people. Decay is with regard to also the newborn babies. When they are growing up, for example, the babies, they are born and they start growing up, then which means the change. Because they are growing up, they will eventually die. The body will change, then body will have to break up, perish. There is no other way of looking at it. It is impossible, unavoidable. It shall not break up. It shall be like this. Then has to be static, unchanging. But since it is changing, it is subject to decay. It will break up for sure. So there is no bargain with death. We should contemplate death every day. Can't bargain. Come tomorrow, come day after, come other day. I'm busy, I have other work, I will go after some time. Can we say like this? If people were to die, they have to die. There is no way we can say like this or do like this. So that's why Lord Buddha is saying, make the effort today. One who dwells thus ardently, one who lives, not being obsessed with the past, not being worried about the future or thinking or expecting or hoping about the this or that in the future, but keeping your mind in the present moment wisely, knowing things as they are. Knowing things as they are has a very deep meaning. Whatever they are. Let him know and be sure of it. Let him know and be sure of it, the present moment. The body as it is, feelings as it is, perceptions as it is, consciousness as it is, like this. Not this is me, this is not me, this is myself, this is not myself, not like this. This is the body, subject to arising and passing away, changing. These are the perceptions, these are the feelings, everything. This is the consciousness, these are the consciousnesses. So when we know like this, yatha bhutang jnana dasanang, knowing things as they are, then we are not afflicted with suffering. We are not afflicted, because we are not afflicted with ignorance. That's why we are not afflicted with suffering. We are afflicted with ignorance. That's our biggest disease. Whatever we think, ignorance come in the middle. Whatever we do, ignorance come in the middle, big or small. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but it always comes in the middle. It always comes and does some nonsense. So there is always some bit of hindrance, some bit of obstruction, some bit of unclarity. When we are living in the present moment mindfully, moment to moment, then this ignorance will reduce with the practice of sati, there comes the samadhi. With the practice of samadhi, there comes the wisdom. With the gaining of wisdom, there comes the release. So when we practice like this, automatically we will find a way out of this unclarity or confusion or ignorance. And when Lord Buddha is saying, when one lives like this, wisely, mindfully, moment to moment, present moment, then he is the person, he is the person the Buddha says is having an excellent time. Because his mind is unburdened. Just a trick to unburden the mind, not to keep things. How do we keep things? We keep things with a view of I, with a view of self, with ignorance. We keep things. It is good, not good. I want to be like this. I don't want to be like this. Always in big ways or in small ways. Everywhere. But we live wisely, mindfully, then mind can be unburdened. Whatever it is, this is also not me, not mine, not myself. This is just the phenomena. Body, just the body. Feelings, just the feelings. Perceptions, just the perceptions. Then Lord Buddha says, that person I call having an excellent time. So this is the discourse and Bhaddekaratta Sutta, someone having an excellent time. So we often say, no, we want to have good time, useful time, fruitful time, meaningful time. This is the meaningful time. To that extent, your mind has sati, samadhi, wisdom. To that extent, you are having a meaningful time. To the extent it is not having, whatever you do is still meaningless time. So, you can all read this sutta, Bhaddekaratta Sutta, in the Majjhima Nikaya, I think 131 in the Majjhima Nikaya. It's a very wonderful discourse, small one, but very profound in meaning. Very profound to think and contemplate and to use it in our daily practice. So may you be able to remember and contemplate and practice correctly the Dhamma up to the attainment of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.